If your feet feel numb when you get out of bed, or you feel that burning, tingling sensation at night that keeps you shifting under the blankets, I need you to hear this. That is not always just aging. What most people don't realize is the real problem isn't only poor circulation. It is that the nerves and tiny muscles in your feet slowly stop communicating with the brain after years of inactivity, sitting, and reduced movement. The signal gets weaker. Your feet start feeling disconnected, almost like they do not belong to you anymore. But the good news is those pathways can still respond, and the first movement may wake them up faster than you expect. Let's start with exercise number 1. Exercise 1. Toe lift and toe spread activation. Sit tall near the front of your chair and place both feet flat on the floor, and if your toes feel stiff or slow right now, that is okay. That is exactly why we are starting here. Most seniors think numb feet begin with circulation alone, but what most people don't realize is the tiny nerves controlling your toes can slowly go quiet after years of reduced movement. That is why some older adults say their feet feel thick, heavy, almost like they are wearing invisible socks. The signal between the feet and the brain simply gets weaker over time. Now gently lift all 10 toes upward while keeping the balls of your feet on the floor. Hold for 3 slow seconds. Then spread the toes apart as wide as you comfortably can. Do not force it. You may notice one foot responds better than the other. That imbalance is extremely common after 60. Now lower slowly. That is 1 repetition. Do 12 repetitions total, slow and controlled, almost like you are turning the nerve signal back on 1 layer at a time. Breathe in as the toes rise. Breathe out slowly as they lower. Most people do this wrong by lifting the entire foot instead of only the toes. Keep your heels and the balls of your feet grounded the entire time. As these little muscles begin activating, blood flow starts moving through the foot differently too, almost like wringing out a sponge that has been sitting still too long. And here is the hidden part many people never hear about. The toes contain hundreds of tiny sensory receptors connected directly to balance and walking stability. So when these nerves wake up, balance often improves with them. If lifting all the toes feels difficult, start with 1 foot at a time. Even tiny movement matters here. Many seniors notice warmth or tingling during this exercise. That does not always mean damage. Sometimes it is the nervous system finally responding again. Now that we have started waking up the nerve pathways in the feet, let's move to the next exercise. Exercise 2. Seated calf pump. One of the biggest warning signs I notice in adults over 60 is not weakness first. It is cold feet, especially at night when the legs feel heavy and the tingling suddenly gets louder under the blankets. That often tells me the calf muscles have stopped helping circulation the way they used to. And what most people don't realize is the calves act almost like a second heart for the lower body. Every step you take is supposed to squeeze blood back upward through the legs. But after years of sitting longer and moving less, that pump starts becoming sluggish. That is when the feet begin feeling swollen, numb, or strangely disconnected after sitting too long. Some seniors even say their feet feel full or tight inside their shoes by evening. Now let's wake that system back up. Sit tall in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your hands resting gently on your thighs. Slowly lift both heels upward while keeping the balls of your feet pressed into the ground. Rise as high as comfortable. At the top, hold for 2 slow seconds. You should feel the calves tightening softly, not cramping. Now lower slowly for another 2 seconds, almost like lowering yourself into warm water. That slow lowering matters more than people think. It helps the calf muscles squeeze and release blood like a pump pushing fluid through a hose. Do 20 repetitions total, slow, smooth, rhythmic. Breathe in as the heels rise. Exhale slowly as they lower. Most people do this wrong by bouncing quickly. Fast bouncing uses momentum, but slow movement is what helps circulation and nerve tissue respond. If both legs feel too weak, start 1 leg at a time. Even small movement can begin waking up dormant circulation pathways. And here is something fascinating. The calf muscle does not only move blood, it also helps reduce pressure buildup around tiny nerves in the lower leg. That may be one reason some seniors notice less burning and tingling after doing this consistently. The tissue simply starts receiving better flow again. As you continue, you may notice warmth slowly moving into the feet. That is a very encouraging sign. Your body is responding. Your circulation is starting to move again instead of sitting still. But now let's move into the next exercise. Exercise 3. Foot rolling nerve stimulation. Have you ever noticed your feet feel strange on certain floors? Almost like you cannot fully tell what you are stepping on anymore. That dull, disconnected feeling is something many seniors experience long before balance problems begin. Most people never realize the bottom of the foot is packed with tiny sensory nerves, constantly sending information to the brain. And after years of stiff shoes, hard flooring, and reduced movement, those signals can become weaker and quieter. That is why some older adults feel less stable in the dark or nervous walking barefoot. The brain is receiving less information from the feet than it used to. This next movement helps wake those sensory pathways back up. Take a small rolled towel and place it under the arch of your right foot. Sit tall but stay relaxed through the shoulders and jaw. Now slowly roll your foot forward and backward over the towel. From the heel, through the arch, all the way to the ball of the foot. Move slowly enough that you can actually feel different spots underneath the foot, almost like your brain is mapping the foot again. Breathe naturally while you roll. No rushing here. Spend about 45 to 60 seconds on each foot. And if you find a tender or numb area, pause gently there for 5 seconds before continuing. Most seniors do this too fast, but slow rolling creates far more nerve stimulation than aggressive pressure. You should feel mild warmth, light pressure, maybe even tingling, but never sharp pain. If your feet are sensitive, use a softer towel or reduce the pressure. Even gentle stimulation matters. And here is the hidden insight many people never hear. The nerves in the arch of the foot are deeply connected to balance and body awareness. So sometimes improving foot sensation helps people feel steadier without ever training balance directly. As you continue rolling, you may suddenly notice the floor feeling clearer or more present underneath your feet. That small moment can feel surprisingly emotional after months or years of numbness. It is not magic. It is the nervous system finally receiving input again, like turning the lights back on in a room that has been dim for too long. And now that your feet and nerves are becoming more awake, we are ready for the final movement. Exercise 4. Shin lifts and ankle circles. One of the earliest signs I watch for in adults over 60 is not falling itself. It is the sound of the foot dragging slightly when they walk. A soft shuffle, a hesitation stepping over rugs or curbs. Most seniors never realize this often begins with weakness in the front of the lower leg, a small muscle that quietly lifts the foot every time you take a step. And when that muscle becomes inactive, the feet stop clearing the floor properly. That is when people begin catching their toes on carpet edges without understanding why. This movement helps reconnect that pathway. Sit tall in your chair with both heels resting on the floor. Keep your spine long but relaxed. Now slowly lift the front of both feet upward toward your shins. Hold for 2 slow seconds at the top. You should feel the muscles along the front of the lower legs working gently. Not strain, just controlled activation. Now lower slowly back down. That is 1 repetition. Do 15 slow repetitions. And try not to rush the lowering phase. Most people focus only on lifting, but the slow lowering is where the nervous system learns control again. Breathe in as the feet lift. Exhale softly as they lower. If both feet feel too weak or cramp easily, work 1 foot at a time. That modification still works beautifully. Now comes the second part. Lift 1 foot slightly off the floor and slowly draw large circles with the ankle. 5 clockwise, then 5 counterclockwise. Move slowly enough that the ankle feels smooth and fluid, almost like stirring warm water with your toes. The movement should feel gentle, not forced. And here is the hidden insight many seniors are never told. The ankle joint contains important sensory receptors that help the brain track where the body is during walking. So when ankle mobility decreases, balance confidence often decreases with it. That is why some older adults suddenly feel unsure stepping off curbs or walking in parking lots. The brain is receiving less movement information from the ankle itself. As you continue these circles, you may notice tingling spreading differently through the foot or shin, sometimes sharper, more awake, less dull. That can actually be a hopeful sign. It often means the nerve pathways are responding instead of staying silent. And for a moment, just pause and notice your feet. Many seniors tell me this is the first time in months their lower legs feel lighter and more connected. That feeling matters, because when the feet begin responding again, confidence usually follows close behind. And now you can probably understand something important. Your feet were never simply old. They were understimulated, underused, and waiting for movement to wake them back up. Final thoughts before you go. Now, before we finish, I want you to remember something very important. Numb feet, tingling, burning sensations, that heavy, disconnected feeling in the legs. These changes are not something you should simply ignore because of age. In many cases, the body is asking for movement, stimulation, and circulation again. And sometimes the smallest daily habits are what begin changing how your feet feel over time. Do not underestimate these exercises just because they look simple. Simple movements done consistently can wake up muscles and nerve pathways that have been quiet for years. And I would genuinely love to hear from you. Which symptom have you been struggling with most lately? Cold feet at night? Tingling toes? Trouble feeling the floor when you walk? Poor balance after sitting? Also, which exercise felt the best for your body today? Was it the toe activation, the calf pump, the towel roll, or the ankle circles? If one of these exercises helps you even a little, please come back and leave a comment below this video. Your story may encourage another senior who feels frustrated or scared about what is happening to their body right now. And most importantly, do not skip these movements. Your nerves respond to consistency, your circulation responds to movement, and your body is still capable of adapting even after 60. Stay patient, stay steady, and take good care of those feet.